Hello there, this is Paper Talk, where I share with you what I'm currently learning. This is the first video and it's about financial forecasting. Let's jump to it. As John Hawkins says, the current nature of macroeconomics forecasting is a product of Keynesian revolution. So, what is Keynesian revolution? John Maynard Keynes, who by the name you can find out that is the person behind the Keynesian revolution, developed the general theory of employment, interest, and money in 1936, advocating for government intervention to manage economic cycles. Keynes ended the general theory with these terms that you can hear it from the biographer of Keynes, Professor Kidensky.
The ideas of economists and political philosophers, both when they are right and when they are wrong, are more powerful than is commonly understood. Indeed, the world is ruled by little else. Practical men, who believe themselves to be quite exempt from intellectual influences, are usually the slaves of some defunct economist. Madmen in authority who hear voices in the air are distilling their frenzy from some academic scribbler of a few years back.
If there was a revolution, so it must have been against something. Isn't that some essential part of a revolution? Keynesian economics stands in opposition of Orthodox economics. Let's cut it short and talk about the part they went to war at. The keynote of Keynesian economics is that market can fail and it needs government intervention to stabilize it. While Orthodox economics believe that markets are self-correcting and function the best when there is minimum government intervention, the Orthodox economics believes in open market. Adam Smith, often considered the father of Orthodox economics or neoclassical economics, wrote The Wealth of Nations, promoting free markets and minimal government intervention. Here is a part of Liberty and Economics documentary.
One of Mises' insight is that in a market system, the consumer is king, right? Who determines what businesses produce? Who determines in what quantities goods are produced or services are produced? Who determines when a factory should open and when a factory should close? When is it obsolete? Mises says it's the consumer, ultimately, who does this. The consumer goes into the market, and with every dollar, he votes on, I want this, I don't want this. That's how a market system works. It's a very free and democratic system in this sense.
And if we don't understand it, as many societies have not, we end up like Eastern Europe. There's no food in the stores. Or where they have massive systemic problems of economic coordination, where they've got grain rotting in the fields and no bread. That's what happens when people don't understand economics.
Okay, now we know that there is two contradicting opinions about the markets being controlled or not to be controlled. So why is the one that says markets should be more controlled is the one that shaped the markets? At least the macroeconomics as said by John Hawkins. Hawkins also points to the Great Depression. So what was the Great Depression? And what difference did it make to the markets?
The Great Depression, a time when the world economy came crashing down. It all started on October 29, 1929, known as Black Tuesday. The stock market lost billions in value, wiping out investors overnight. Banks failed, businesses closed, and unemployment soared. The Dust Bowl added to the misery, with severe droughts devastating farmlands and forcing families to flee their homes. People lived in makeshift shanty towns called Hoovervilles, relying on soup kitchens to survive. The government struggled to respond. In 1933, Franklin D. Roosevelt took office and introduced the New Deal, a series of programs aimed at relief, recovery, and reform. Public works projects provided jobs, Social Security offered support, and new regulations aimed to prevent future crashes. Though it took a decade and the onset of World War II, the Great Depression finally ended, leaving lasting changes in its wake.
Thank you for watching first episode of financial forecasting videos. In next episode, we will go deeper and talk more about financial forecasting methods. Have a nice day and goodbye.